How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Wait. I'm not Eric. I don't wear glasses. Actually, no, I want those glasses. Because apparently, according to, I think, myself, apparently when you wear glasses, you gain at least 3 IQ points. But I'm also not a credible source, so please, don't source me. Anyway, how's it going, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well, and it's time for predictions once again. So, I wasn't available to do the full season predictions, so instead, we're going to do the playoff predictions instead. I'm going to move you closer. Yeah, and so actually, before we begin, yeah, so shout out to Chris over at what con was it? The big Minneapolis Anime Con. Shout out to Chris for the awesome shirt, and I don't think, therefore I am not am, or whatever the shirt says. Yeah. Okay, so here is what we're going to do here for today. My hope is to have this out by Thursday, because the Truck Series races at Darlington on Friday. And what I'm going to do is we're going to do the full predictions for Truck, Xfinity, and Cup playoffs. And we're going to see how right or wrong I am. Now, I'm wrong almost pretty much all the time. But there's a couple of times where I'm completely right. For example, this. I did not mention his name at all in this prediction so far, and that is Matt DiBenedetto. I think he will finally break through with that 25 team, and he will get his first career win in the Truck Series. Okay, so as I've said, like, I am totally doing this off of just gut instinct, and yeah. And so what we'll do here is we're going to go Trucks first, like all the way through, then Xfinity all the way through, and then we'll end with Cup. And one thing that I will do this time is that hopefully the glare isn't too bad on the glasses. Sorry. So one thing I know is that the Xfinity Series still has 2 races in the regular season. I'll just go ahead and predict those, and then we'll set up the playoffs, and then we'll go from there. So I'm gonna take a risk. I'm gonna keep the glasses on. I know the light is bouncing off of the glasses, so when I play this back later, we'll see how bad it is. But to show my IQ, if you will, we're gonna keep the glasses on. And by the way, these are blue blocker glasses, if you can't tell already. They help with the blue light that comes off of screens and monitors. So yeah, it's good to keep your eyes healthy. It's good for your boy Griffdawg to actually do that. So okay, so let's begin here. We are going to start with the Truck Series. So just to begin, quick overview here, as I'm going to move the mic closer to me here. So what we're going to do here is go over the trucks and like all the drivers that are in. So the pretty much dominant driver is Corey Heim, who is at plus 62 points above the cutoff line. Lane Riggs is second, plus 23. Chandler Smith, plus 16. Daniel Hemrick, plus 8. Tyler Ingram, plus 7. Ty Majeski, plus 7. Grant Enfinger, plus 4. Raja Karuth, plus 2. And then Caden Honeycutt, minus 2. And then Jake Garcia, minus 3. So, again, my hope is this video gets out before the truck race. I am recording this on Tuesday, August 26th. And then, I hope to have this out on Thursday night. If it ends up being delayed, it is what it is, but my hope again is to get it out by then. Okay, so let's start things off, right? I'll predict who the winner is of each playoff race, and then we'll then seed the rest. So, the truck race at Darlington on Friday night is going to be, I guess, a pseudo throwback race. Corey Heim will win it. I think he'll continue his dominant ways, and he should easily get his way into the round of 8. So I got Corey Heim winning Darlington. I got Chandler Smith winning Bristol. He's been pretty good at Bristol, and I think he'll continue that here. And then New Hampshire feels like Lane Riggs type of track. It's a flat, pseudo short track. And Lane, I mean, he won the Milwaukee Mile last year, and so there's no reason for me to think that he will. I think he'll win again. So those 3 will be the winners, and then the final 5 that will get into the round of 8 will be Ty Majeski, Daniel Hemrick, Caden Honeycutt, Raja Caruth, and Grant Enfinger. Jake Garcia, and I think the big surprise here will be Tyler Ankrum. I do not think that Tyler Ankrum will move on to the next round. I know he had his win at Rockingham earlier this year, but I don't think it's enough, and I don't think he has the consistency to move on to the round of 8. Okay, so we have that. Next, we have the round of 8. So the Roval, give it to Corey Heim again. He was really good at Lime Rock, and I see no reason for him to stutter. And I think he'll win in I believe it's the first time that the Truck Series races at the Roval this year. So Corey Heim is going to win that. Grant Enfinger will win at Talladega again. And so Heim and Enfinger will move on to the Championship 4. And then the final driver, Martinsville. Martinsville will be the exciting, bumping and banging shenanigans that we all know and love. And Ty Majeski will win it. I believe Ty Majeski will get in. And he'll win at Martinsville. And he'll be part of the Championship 4 for Phoenix. And then that leaves up the big question of who the 4th and final driver will be. Daniel Hemrick. Daniel is very good at being consistent. And I do not believe that's going to change anytime soon. I also do remember that Hemrick won at Martinsville earlier this year. I don't think he'll win this fall, but he will be good and consistent enough, especially with like Talladega, that Hemrick should move on to the Championship 4. So, with that being said, big question now is who is going to be... Oh, I'm sorry, before we move on. So the 4 that are out will be Caden Honeycutt. As I said, he'll barely make it into the round of 8, but I don't think it'll be enough to move on to the Championship 4. Raja Caruth will not make it. Jake Garcia. Oh, I'm sorry, not Jake Garcia. Who was it? Sorry about that. Chandler Smith is not going to make it into the Championship 4. I think if there's anyone that's going to be close to making it into the Championship 4 but not make it, it'll be Chandler Smith. And then lastly, the big shock, and I think along with Chandler Smith, Lane Riggs will not make it into the Championship 4. What I fear will happen is I just don't think he'll do so well on the Roval. I think he'll get caught up in the big one at Talladega, and I just don't think he will be close enough at Martinsville. I like Lane Riggs. I would go ahead and say like he and Hemrick are my favorite drivers in the Truck Series right now. But I want to be realistic, and I think Riggs will not make it in. If Lane Riggs just so happens to watch this video, please prove me wrong. Because again, like this is one of those times where it's like, I hope to be wrong. So, with that being said, Championship 4 is going to be Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, Ty Majeski, and Daniel Hemrick. So the question is, who is going to win and who's going to win the championship? So, I don't believe it's going to be Ty Majeski. I know he won Phoenix last year, and I think he'll get close, but I don't believe he will repeat as champion. It's not going to be Enfinger. I just don't see that. And I don't think Corey Heim is going to win either. Which I know is going to, cause controversy and whatever. But what I think is going to happen is that Lane Riggs will win at Phoenix. Again, not as a playoff contender, but he will win the race at Phoenix. And Daniel Hemrick is going to win the championship. I don't think he's going to win. I think he'll probably finish like third. But I think he'll do it. I think he'll do it. I think he'll pull it off, and he will be the champion in the Truck Series this year. And honestly, he played it by the books. He did what he needed to do, and Hemrick will be the champion in the Truck Series. So, we're going to see how wrong I'll be. Maybe Heim will actually pull it off and win the championship here before he moves on to Cup or Xfinity here. But we'll see. Let me know in the comment section down below. Alrighty, so let's move on to the Xfinity series. So we know that the Xfinity Series still has 2 races left in the regular season standings. And so what's going to happen here is that the I'll just say who I think the winners are going to be. So Portland, which is this weekend, I believe that Connor Zelich is going to win that. And then at Gateway, I believe Sam Mayer is going to win that. And then I believe Justin Allgaier is going to be the regular season champion after all of this. And it's interesting because like you look at the top 3 and it's like all 3 of them are pretty close together. But I think despite Zelich and Mayer winning, Allgaier will be consistent enough for me. Great. Bless me. Allgaier will be consistent enough. I think he'll get top 5s in both of the races, and I think he'll win the regular season championship. So, for the points here, as I talk about who the 12 drivers are, it's going to be just rough estimates from everything I've seen. Like, I'm going to use kind of like what Bob said after the Daytona night race, but then I'm also going to go ahead and throw in just kind of like just rough estimates on where everything is going to be after it's all said and done. So Connor Zelich is going to be plus 50 roughly, because I mean he's had one heck of a season so far. Justin Allgaier will be plus 35, Sam Mayer plus 17, Jesse Love plus 10, Brandon Jones plus 8, Sammy Smith plus 6, Nick Sanchez plus 2, Carson Quaffle plus 2, and then Sheldon Creed minus 2, Taylor Gray minus 3, Harrison Burton minus 5, and then Austin Hill, because of his penalty from Indy, he will not have any playoff points and will start roughly minus 7 points. And as I've said, like, this is not exactly what it's going to be, because there's still 2 races left and literally anything could change. But again, using my Swami hat and my predictions, this is what I think will happen. So, alright, so we move on to the round of 12. And the first race in the round of 12 is going to be Bristol, and I believe Justin Allgaier will win that. He was pretty good. I believe he was in the top 5 in the spring Bristol race, but I believe he'll win, and so he'll move on to the round of 8. Kansas, Brandon Jones. Brandon Jones was pretty good at Kansas back in the early 2020s, and I think he'll do it again. And he will make his way into the round of 8 in the 20 Menards Toyota. And then the Roval, I'm just going to give it to Connor Zelich. I mean, honestly, like, unless maybe SVG is going to be in that race, which I don't believe he can. I could be wrong on that, but Connor Zelich will win the Roval, and he'll move on to the round of 8. So, the other drivers that will be in the round of 8 include Sam Mayer. I think he'll have enough points. Jesse Love, same thing. I think he'll just have enough points to move on. Austin Hill. Austin Hill, I think, will just get in. And I think the one race that'll really help him will be probably the Roval. Because, I mean, he's a good road course driver. He is. But, I mean, with his shenanigans at Watkins Glen, you know, people are saying other things about Austin Hill. But he's a good road course racer. So, Austin Hill will move on. And then the other 2, I got Taylor Gray. I think Taylor will be consistent enough just to squeak by. And then the last driver will be Carson Quaffle. I think it'll be very close. But Carson Quaffle, I think, will just barely squeak by, and he will move on to the round of 8. And so, the 4 drivers that'll be out will be Sammy Smith, Nick Sanchez, Harrison Burton, and it pains me to say it, but Sheldon Creed. Sheldon is, like, it's hard because it's like he's still like consistent, but ever since he's moved over to Haas, he just hasn't shown that consistency, and so I worry that he's just not going to make it through the round of 8. And I like Sheldon Creed a lot, I do. So again, like Lane Riggs earlier, Sheldon, please prove me wrong if in case you do watch this video. So yeah, that will be the round of 8. So let's go into the round of 8 and let's talk about who will win those races. So Las Vegas is first, and Justin Allgaier is going to win that again. I need to double check. I believe he won at Vegas earlier this year. I'll fact check myself on that. So Vegas, Allgaier, Talladega, Austin Hill. So despite the penalty and despite the hoopla, I think Austin Hill will find a way to the front again at Talladega, and he'll make his way into the championship 4 that way. So he won't need Martinsville to make his way into the championship 4. And then finally, I think Taylor Gray will get his due diligence, and he will finally win at Martinsville. I know what happened in the spring Martinsville race between him and Sammy Smith, and then also last year in the Truck Series race. He got close twice, and I think Taylor Gray will get his due diligence, and I believe he will be into the championship 4. And then I think based off of points alone, Connor Zolich will be the final driver in the championship 4. So it's going to be 3 Chevys and a Toyota. So you got Justin Allgaier, Austin Hill, Taylor Gray, and Connor Zolich in the championship 4. And then finally, in the championship 4 race, who is going to be the winner, who's going to be the champion. So it's not going to be Austin Hill. Don't worry about that. I don't think Austin Hill will go the distance despite being penalized. It's not going to be Taylor Gray. I think he'll get close, but I don't think it's going to be Taylor Gray. And it's not going to be Connor Zolich either. I predict that Justin Allgaier will repeat as champion. He won, of course, he won last year, and I think he'll do it again. Alrighty, on to the Cup playoffs. So we've made it through trucks, we've made it through Xfinity. We'll see how canceled I'll get at this point. But yeah, time for the Cup playoffs, and let's see who's going to make it all the way through, right? So, as with the other 2 series, we'll do a quick rundown on who all the drivers are and what the point situation is. So we got Kyle Larson and William Byron, both at plus 26, respectively. Then we got Denny Hamlin, plus 23, Ryan Blaney, plus 20, Christopher Bell, plus 17, Shane Van Gisbergen, plus 16, Chase Elliott, plus 7, Chase Briscoe, plus 4, Bubba Wallace, plus 2, Austin Cindric, plus 2, Ross Chastain, plus 1, Joey Logano, plus 1, and then the first 4 cars out are Josh Berry, Tyler Reddick, Austin Dillon, and Alex Bowman. So, what is going to happen? What shenanigans are going to go down? We're going to find out. Alright, so the first race is the Southern 500, which will be this Sunday night. And I predict right away that Chase Briscoe is going to do it again. Last year, Chase Briscoe got Stewart-Haas's last win. And so I believe Briscoe will do it again for Joe Gibbs, and he will be the first driver into the round of 12. Moving on to Gateway, I predict that Ryan Blaney will get his due diligence, and he will win at Gateway. And the reason I believe that was because he almost won last year if it wasn't for the problems he had. I believe he ran out of fuel, is what happened. And yeah, but I don't think he'll run out of fuel this time, and I believe Blaney will move on to the round of 12 because of his victory at Gateway. And then lastly, the Bristol night race, the final cutoff race before the round of 12, we will have Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell will move on to the round of 12. I don't think there'll be too many shenanigans in that race, but yeah, but the 3 Bs, Briscoe, Blaney, and Bell, will be the 3 winners here. And then, I'm a little closer to the mic. So the other drivers that are going to be in include Kyle Larson, William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Chase Elliott, Ross Chastain, Joey Logano, unfortunately, sorry, Tyler Reddick, Alex Bowman will just squeak through, and then I have Shane Van Gisbergen being the last driver in. I don't think he's going to be that good through these 3 races, but I think he'll have enough of a points cushion just to squeak by through the round of 16. I know some people have him out immediately, but I feel like he's learned a thing or two, especially Richmond. I think Richmond was kind of the race that showed me that SVG has some potential. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and he will move on to the round of 12. So with that being said, the 4 drivers out are Austin Dillon, Josh Berry, Austin Cindric, and Bubba Wallace. I think if there's anyone that's going to be close, I think it's going to be Bubba Wallace, and I feel like he'll have a decent race at Bristol, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And I like Bubba. Like, I hope he does well, but again, I don't think he'll move on to the round of 16. Moving on to the round of 12. So in the round of 12, we have Loudon, New Hampshire, we have Kansas Speedway, and we have the Roval. So New Hampshire, we'll have Kyle Larson. I think Larson will do well there, and I think he will win. Kansas, Tyler Reddick. He won in 2023, and I think for 2311 Racing, I think he'll move on to the round of 8 because of his win at Kansas. And then finally for the Roval, SVG. I think he'll do it. I think he's found his mojo in road courses, and I really see no reason why he wouldn't win that. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm wrong, but just he's so good at road courses now that I just don't see like anybody getting close to him. But we'll see. So with that being said, the people in the round of 8 will be Larson, Reddick, Shane Van Gisbergen, and then I'll have Byron, Blaney, Bell, Logano, and Alex Bowman. Because remember last year, there was the whole kerfuffle where Alex Bowman was disqualified, and then Joey Logano got in because of that disqualification. So this time around, I believe both drivers will make it into the round of 8. Logano and Bowman, that is. So with that being said, the round of 8, Las Vegas, I think Kyle Larson will do it again. I think Larson will win again at Vegas, and I believe he'll make it into the Championship 4. Talladega will be the only race in the Cup playoffs where actually I need to double check on this. Yeah, where a driver that's not in the playoffs will win a race, and I think Brad Keselowski will get the job done. He has not won Talladega since I believe it was 2021, and so I believe Brad Keselowski will win for RFK Racing, and it'll be RFK Racing's only win in the year. And then at Martinsville, I think the big Okay, so camera angle is different, phone quality, or not phone, the quality is a little different because the camera actually overheated. I guess it just couldn't take my spicy takes, if you will. So I'm just going to use my phone here for the rest of the time here. And I mean, the video is almost done, so we'll see how it all goes. So just quick reminder again, round of 8. So Kyle Larson wins Vegas, Brad Keselowski wins Talladega. And then I predict that Alex Bowman is going to be the one to win Martinsville. I think the Cinderella story will be Bowman. He's been very consistent, especially as of late, and I think it will continue. I believe he'll be on a hot streak, and I believe Alex Bowman will make it into the Championship 4. So, with that being said, the question now becomes, who are the other 2 drivers that are going to be in the Championship 4? And the answer to that is going to be William Byron and Ryan Blaney. So Byron in the 24, the regular season champion, and then Ryan Blaney, who just won here at Daytona. I think those will be the final 2 drivers into the Championship 4. And then with that being said, Christopher Bell, Shane Van Gisbergen, Joey Logano, and Tyler Reddick will not make their way into the Championship 4. So with that being said, it's going to be 3 against 1 in terms of Hendrick versus Penske. There'll be 3 Hendrick drivers with Larson, Bowman, and Byron. And then Blaney will be the lone Ford, the lone Penske driver, to see if he can get his 2nd championship. So, the championship race. I don't believe Blaney will win. I actually think he'll finish 2nd again. I don't think Larson will win, and I don't believe Bowman will win at Phoenix, and thus I believe William Byron will be the 2025 Cup Series champion, and he will win at Phoenix. I know he got close, and I know he was in the championship 4 a couple of times, but I think this will be his year. He won the Daytona 500, he is the regular season champion, and I think he'll get the job done here, and he will be the champion. So, with that being said, how right am I? How wrong am I? We're gonna find out, I guess. So, with that all being said, let me know in the comment section down below, who do you think will be the champion? And yeah, and I'm gonna try my best not to overheat my camera, because I'm still learning how to make videos again. This is all still, I shouldn't say very new, but like, again, I'm trying to get back into the groove of things. And yeah, I think that's it. So thank you guys again as so much for watching. Thank you guys again for the support. And yeah, with that being said, it's your boy Griffdawg saying so long until next time.